get underway. Texas A&M has the lead after the first 30 minutes of action. 17-6, along with Charles Davis and Craig Sager. I'm Ron Thulin, welcoming you back to a hot and humid College Station, Texas, Kyle Field. Crowd of nearly 80,000 on hand. Lance Newman kicks it away. End over end. Justin Miller from the one. Straight up the middle, looking for the one block. Gets it, bounces to the outside, but dragged down from behind at the 34-yard line. College football on TBS, part of Big PlayStation Saturday. We are starting the third quarter. Texas A&M leading Clemson 17-6. And I think when you look back at the first half, Charles, a couple things stand out. Number one, Reggie McNeal may not have the big numbers running, but he set up a lot. Charlie Whitehurst at times has looked good. Other times he hasn't gotten the protection needed.
The big story of the first half, the Texas A&M defense. Forcing 3 turnovers, turned it into 14 points for the offense, hence the 17, the score at the half.
On 1st and 10, Whitehurst's first pass of the second half into the flat, complete up to the 40-yard line. Curtis Baham, the junior out of New Orleans, Louisiana, whose dad, Curtis Sr., I might add, played in the Little National Football League. First catch of the night, 7 yards on the reception. Let's take a look at some of the leaders in Clemson for the offense. You can see 116 yards by Whitehurst, Merriweather 37 yards on the ground, and Curry 48 yards on 4 receptions.
Only the real negative, the 2 interceptions against Whitehurst. Really one should just be against him, the other bobbled by the receiver.
Stuckey only 1 reception for 11 yards. Browning on the carry. Keelan Jackson, senior out of Garland, Texas, who last spring was a defensive back, moved into that strong side linebacker position. Once again, Yusuf Kelly, the running back for Clemson, suspended for tonight's game. He is not in action, so they've been using Browning, Merriweather, and Coleman in the backfield.
And I know Yusuf Kelly was suspended for this game as they bring out the chains for measurement, but let's be honest, he was not going to start tonight. They were going to go with Browning and Merriweather, and they were getting Coleman back, and they wanted to see how he was going to look. But Phillips would have given them a 4th back to carry the ball on a humid night. First down for the Clemson Tigers. Craig
Sager, what did Tommy Bowden think of the first 30 minutes?
Well, actually, he thought his team played fairly well. He said the big story, of course, was the turnovers. They were not allowing us to get any sustaining of momentum or drive or any rhythm. He thought Whitehurst was not able to get a rhythm because of that. He also addressed his first kicking decision. Remember, the last 4 years, he had Aaron Hunt back there as the field goal kicker, Clemson's all-time scoring leader. Well, at halftime, he said, Jad Dean, you're on scholarship. You're now the kicker. You've been inconsistent in practice all over the place. You got to have you now.
Well, it's time to put up. Whitehurst looking, throwing out of the flat up to the 49-yard line. Pass is complete to Kyle Browning.
And following up on Craig Sager's report, Jad Dean, number 7, getting loose at the half. Going to replace Stephen Furr, who began the game as the number 1 kicker, missed an extra point. And just as Coach Bowden promised us in our meeting, 1 miss, I'm going to the next guy. That's exactly what he did.
Only 158 yards total offense for Clemson so far. Coming off a 461-yard performance versus Tech. And Whitehurst going down for the 2nd sack of the night. Mike Montgomery, the senior out of Center, Texas.
Again, Texas A&M's defensive front, pressure coming here, pressure coming here. There's Mays, 16. He flushed him up into the pocket. Where Montgomery, number 95, finished him off. Jason Jack, number 89, also coming in to try and get some of the tackle.
Mike Montgomery, whose favorite announcer is Charles Barkley.
Yeah, like that.
Mike's got to get out more. 3rd down. We'll call it 8. Low snap. Whitehurst steals the ground ball. Looking, throwing off balance, passes tipped incomplete. Good defense again by that A&M secondary. Leading the charge was Jonte Buell. Pass was intended for Chancey Stuckey.
That play had the whole package. Pressure up front, and watch Jonte Buell right here running with Chancey Stuckey and coming up underneath and knocking the ball away. Jonte Buell forced a turnover in the first half. Starts off the second half with a pass broken up. The A&M defense reasserting itself early in the second half.
Colt Chasen, who's done a nice job kicking the ball away for Clemson. Eric May standing back at the 15-yard line. This is returnable, a low line drive. When it hits, goes inside the 10, not going to return it. How about down at the 1-yard line? Great job by Colt Chasen.
Bad job by Eric Mays. You got to go catch the ball. Too much roll given up, too much field position given up.
Only 2 punts plus 50 yards last year for Colt Chasen. He's got one tonight.
Watch Eric Mays, number 16. It's a low line drive. The first, as you said, Ron, it looks like a returnable ball. Go catch the ball. Call fair catch and catch it. As soon as you let it hit, as it hit on the 15, it rolled and they killed it on the 1-yard line. That's 14 yards of field position, and now your offense has to start backed up on its own goal line. I'm guaranteeing you, who's ever coaching him, that's the first thing I'm going to tell Eric Mays. You gave up too much field position for our offense.
That's right. Thinking. You have to think out there. Keep Joseph now in the backfield. Did yeoman's work last week versus Wyoming. McNeal throwing. Little flare pass. Caught over the 30-yard line. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line. Jaquan Mobley.
Max protection here. Quick play action. One receiver in the pattern, Daquan Mobley, number 9. They wanted to make sure they protected Reggie McNeal, just gave him a chance to throw it up the sideline, see if they could get a big play on the corner, Justin Miller. That's exactly what they did.
One of the fastest wide receivers, Mobley. It goes for 31. That's the longest reception of the year for him. Keeping it on the ground. Bouncing to the outside is Courtney Lewis. Jamal Fudge making the stop. All the offensive leaders for Texas A&M in that first half, they put together about 160 yards rushing, most of it coming from Courtney Lewis with 102. To see what McNeal does. And how about Boone Stutz? Young man with 2 receptions, 24 yards. That doubles what he had coming into the game.
The blocking tight end, flourishing. Joey Thomas is saying, hold it a second, I'm the receiving tight end. What's going on?
McNeal with Lewis trailing. Lewis tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he barely does. I like the way A&M is rushing the football. You look back to last year, this is a team that averaged about 177 yards rushing. That's the most since 1997. Now they're really putting emphasis on it. They have about 168 yards already, and you can see Les Koenig, the offensive coordinator right there, doing a good job on the running the football. And they've been varying their play selection, showing different formations. The last play was an option. It was defensed well by Clemson, forced the pitch, and then ran it down. Leroy Hill, number 43, but still, they've been effective running it all night long. McNeal straight drop, rifles the pass in Clemson territory, complete to Boone Stutz, his 3rd reception of the night. And I think the A&M fans have their new cheer in Boone. As if they don't have enough traditions, they may establish a new one. Good pass protection for Reggie McNeal, never pressured. And then Boone Stutz makes the catch, uses his big body to keep Jamal Fudge from getting to the football. 14-yard gain, first down, A&M. We want to thank Allstate for providing tonight's goalpost cam. You are in good hands with Allstate. First and 10, just about 4 minutes gone by here in quarter number 3. McNeal up to the 40. First down, Texas A&M.
Number 1, Reggie McNeal runs to the 35-yard line. Number 76, Eric Coleman.
Against the option, you have to have responsibilities. This is Mo Fountain, number 99, the defensive end. He ran to the pitch man, did not take the quarterback and force him to pitch it outside so that the defensive backs and other linebackers could scrape to the outside and run to the ball. Mo Fountain opened up a lane for Reggie McNeal, and number 1 saw it and dashed through it.
Well, Reggie McNeal went to Coach Franchione in January, told him, I want to be the best, this is my team. Made a commitment to working hard, and it's paying off. McNeal steps up, throws in the flat, inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line, complete again to Boone Stutz. He's going to have his own series on TBS, Boone Stutz, private investigator.
Well, I think it's going to be Boone Stutz, pass-catching tight end, and he's going to go in and tell Coach Franchione and the offensive coaches, you know, this blocking thing's okay. But I'm really digging catching passes.
Right on.
I tell you.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's Kellen Winslow, right?
Yeah.
4 receptions, 49 yards. This will be the 8th play of this drive.
Look at that. They're handling it well, and it all goes back to the first down pass from their own 1-yard line that got him out of trouble.
On the ground, tripped up from behind. Lewis thought he could get away from it. Good job by Charles Bennett, who's kind of under the weather a little bit with a little knee problem. The junior out of Camden, South Carolina. Quite the effort guy. You see the numbers on him. Loss of 3 on the play. I'm just glad he's playing.
Yeah, normally a starter, got dinged up. They weren't sure he would go this week. They may be able to make it through practice. Now they've gotten him back on the field.
Joey Thomas, the tight end in motion. McNeal, oh my, he's got a lot of green grass. Inside the 15 to the 10, run out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. The penalty flag comes.
Great job by Reggie McNeal seeing the gap. See where he goes? Flushes right through it. Now at the end of the play, there will be a penalty, but I'm going to give Reggie McNeal a tip. Don't pull off until you're over the sideline. You see how he slowed down too much?
Right.
Don't do that, because what can happen? You're going to get hurt. And I'll guarantee his coaches will say, great, we'll take the penalty, but please don't do that anymore. Get over the sideline before you pull up on your speed.
Now he's got the hurt thumb. It's in a soft cast, has been since last week. Did play last week. He said it doesn't bother him, but you don't want him hurt again.
No.
He had shoulder surgery in the offseason.
The thumb is enough as far as Coach Franchione and Les Koenig and everyone else are saying, no more, Reggie. Get out of bounds. Let's take another play.
Telling the crowd to be quiet. Yeah, that goes under the heading of, yeah, right.
Well, they'll do it for him.
Yeah, first and goal from the 3. Slipping out of the backfield. Carter looks for the end zone, the pylon. Touchdown, A&M. It counts as a rushing touchdown for Jason Carter, the senior out of Caldwell, Texas, the former high school quarterback. And the extra point by Pegram. The confidence of Reggie McNeal on that drive was outstanding. High snap, they get it down, the kick is good. Good job by Chad Schrader to get the ball down, but this is considered a run, not a pass. It's also considered 7 points.
Somewhere a place for us, peace and quiet.
For those in the academic, medical, and cultural fields whose work serves the greater good, we serve you. TIAA CREF, Financial Services, for the greater good.
Where does reality end and pure vision begin? It all starts with a Pioneer plasma display. The purest color, the purest experience. Pure vision. Only from Pioneer.
Texas A&M led at halftime. Now they've upped it here in the third quarter, 24-6, 9:55. It was a 99-yard drive for the Aggies. And it was a lot of Reggie McNeal and Reggie McNeal. Just the play calling, they were in such rhythm during that drive.
And then I thought Reggie McNeal helped on that drive too.
Yeah, he slightly did, didn't he? Didn't he? He's okay. I think we'll keep him.
Well, the Boone Stutz fan club, though, just will be heard from.
Oh, yeah. Lance Newman, sophomore out of Hondo, Texas. He's doing the kickoff chores for Coach Franchione.
And the tight end is definitely back in the offense at Texas A&M in the passing game.
Somewhere Dan Campbell is smiling. End over end kick. Just about a yard deep. Clemson's going to bring it up. Miller. Hit, stacked up, driven back. Getting a couple of hot tub shots. Let's take a look at that last 99-yard drive by the Aggies. It was impressive.
And it started on first down, backed up at their own 1-yard line. Reggie McNeal throwing Quan Mobley and coming back with a nice strike to Boone Stutz on the option, getting upfield with positive yardage, and then using his legs to scramble on a pass play. Gets out of bounds and aided by a personal foul penalty against Clemson. The lateral to Jason Carter for the touchdown.
99 yards, 10 plays, just a shade under 3 minutes. Now the Clemson offense straight up the middle running. Merriweather gets the first down and a couple to spare. You know, when you listen to, we've got a slight injury there. It looks like Jackson Appel. Nope, it's Melvin Bullitt. May have a stinger in the shoulder. But Tommy Bowden was concerned so much about the offensive line after spring practice. Said, "What about your tackles?" He said, "I didn't know we had any." His quarterback was sacked 9 times during the spring. Hasn't had a lot of protection tonight. Whitehurst fires complete. First down up to the 45-yard line. Appel on the stop. Reese Curry on the reception, his 5th of the night. But then again, we just saw, Charles, you give Charlie Whitehurst time, he's going to pick you apart.
Yeah, no sooner than you mentioned the 9 sacks, which came in the spring game alone. He finds Reese Curry, their leading receiver, coming into the game, the #1 receiver in the ACC for a 16-yard gain downfield. Given time, Charlie Whitehurst can pick apart any defense and now has to take a timeout. Not good for Clemson.
Nope, he's already set the career completion record for Clemson tonight. He needed 10, he's got 15. But he has to burn a timeout. 9:06 left to play in quarter number 3. Clemson trying to put something together. They trail A&M.
If you want to add a little flair to your floors, you can. From carpet to hardwood to laminate, nobody covers more floors than the Home Depot. Only the Home Depot has the new DuPont Real Touch Elite. It's so authentic you have to feel it to believe it. Install it yourself or get expert installation through the Home Depot. Right now, get 12 months, no payments, no interest on any flooring, kitchen, bath, or appliance purchase of $299 or more with your Home Depot consumer credit card. Only at the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Fresh idea from Papa John's. Our new Spinach Alfredo Chicken Tomato Pizza. Creamy spinach Alfredo sauce. Grilled all-white chicken. Fresh sliced Roma tomatoes. 100% wow. Plus, call now and get Papa John's pizza and a movie.
Taste the difference. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
PlayStation 2 Online. Products rated RP to M. PlayStation 2, now just $149.
College football on TBS, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. And the Home Depot. Go from wondering how to knowing how at the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help. Along with Charles Davis and Craig Sager, Ron Thuman welcoming you back to College Station, Texas. 9:06 left in the third. Clemson's Charlie Whitehurst trying to get something going. His team trails 24-6.
See, Justin Warren is out of the game for the A&M defense. In the middle now is number 31, Archie McDaniel, a former starter, trying to get Justin a little bit of rest.
Whitehurst again to the flat, up to the 50 in A&M territory. Kelvin Grant, his fourth reception of the night. That's the kind of offense that we like seeing from Clemson. They spread things out. They make people cover people, try to match up. You got to play sound defense. But again, it comes down to Whitehurst getting that time. He's got such a quick release anyway. Second down and 2 after a pickup of 8. Merriweather, straight ahead, stacked up short of the line of scrimmage. Let's go to Ernie Johnson because UCLA having a great game from one of their running backs, EJ.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. Maurice Drew has lightened it up. He had 234 yards in the first half and then tacked on another 60 on their first drive of the third quarter. He's got 5 touchdowns, 294 yards rushing, and UCLA is leading Washington. By the way, the record is 406 by LaDainian Tomlinson. Look who you posted to.
All right, thanks very much. 34-24 to score that, Carl Durrell. Doing a nice job for the Bruins. Curry in motion. On third down and 2. Whitehurst hit from behind. The third sack of the night. Chris Harrington, the redshirt freshman out of Houston, Texas.
As a former defensive back, I'd like to say this is a coverage sack, but Harrington came free so easily, beating number 79, freshman Barry Richardson, to the outside, that the coverage did not have to be good for very long. Charlie Whitehurst never even got set up in his drop before number 92, Harrington, got him from the backside.
Whitehurst was only sacked twice coming into tonight's game. A&M's got 3. Eric Mays back at the 20. The rush. Low kick. Mays lets it go again. This time it'll be down at about the 11-yard line. 45 yards on the kick. Another nice job by Cole Chasen. But A&M will take over leading 24-6. 6:50 left to play. You know, we've talked a lot about Boone Stutz, and you kind of mentioned it and touched on it briefly. But this is an A&M team that hasn't had a lot of tight end in a long time, since Derek Spiller and Dan Campbell. Now they got a chance to add to that. We'll step aside. A&M leads.
Over 200 ways to become an army of one. Log on to GoArmy.com.
Ooh, what happened?
Well, it looks like a strip of metal punctured a tire in the landing gear, which ultimately caused the left wing to erupt into a massive fireball.
Oh, man.
Experience unforgettable stories about the world's most compelling catastrophes on Seconds from Disaster. Tuesdays at 10 on the National Geographic Channel, Channel 276.
No offense, but if you can lose all the weight you want easily, Cortislim is not for you. I'm Dr. Greg Cinnamone, and this very special dietary supplement was formulated for people who struggle with weight and have all but given up. Research suggests that it may not be all your fault that you're overweight and that controlling specific hormones can produce results. Lose the weight by making Cortislim the scientific centerpiece of your diet and exercise routine.
Call 1-800-266-3195. That's 1-800-266-3195.
A&M leads by 18 in the third. And our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Home Depot. Charles, how important is this next drive by A&M for this Clemson defense?
The most important drive of the game for the Clemson defense. They can't afford to give up a single point more with 6:50 left in the third quarter. They've got to shut them down here and have their offense have a chance to get them back into the ball game.
Lewis in the backfield. And he has the football. What a great cut. Gets up over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Travis Pugh on the stop. And what we're also seeing is this A&M team getting the Clemson defense, as they call it, behind the chains after first down.
It's a good point about getting ahead of the chains for the Texas A&M offense. Watch Courtney Lewis. This is what they missed when he was out of the lineup and early in the season. Great cut there against Sampson, number 38. Nice sure tackle by Travis Pugh. But it's at almost 5 yards on first down. That's exactly what an offense is looking for.
Lewis, 109 yards rushing. McNeal. Everybody goes right, he goes left. Looks for the first down. He's got it. Steps out of bounds. Gingerly steps out of bounds. Nick Watkins was chasing him from behind. Boone Stutz, another great block from that tight end position.
So he hasn't forgotten how to do that, has he?
Oh, yeah.
He knows where his bread is buttered. He's enjoying catching the ball, but blocking is what gets him on the field and keeps him there, and he'll continue to do so. But let's go ahead and define it. You just mentioned staying ahead of the chains or getting behind the chains. That means getting into situations where you have the advantage. Offensively, first down, you want 4 or 5 yards on the play so that you can keep your play calling normal. Defensively, you need to get them in 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. Long yardage situations to be ahead of the chains.
3 wide receivers that keep adding players onto the field. The pitchback, Joseph. The senior out of Houston, Texas, was the team's 2nd leading rusher last year. Justin Miller went underneath him, the junior from Owensboro, Kentucky, to make the stop. Now, here's an A&M offense, too, that went to visit Purdue last year. They wanted to see more about how they did it because of all these different receivers that they have on this A&M.
And Purdue, under Joe Tiller's tutelage, one of the better passing teams in the country. They have a quarterback, Kyle Orton, who's one of the top guys who can fling it. I think they put up 90-plus points in their first 2 ball games of the year, so obviously they know what they're doing. A&M trying to expand their pass game.
Joseph's first rush of the evening. Oh, Reggie, sit down. McNeal wrapped up by Charles Bennett.
Rotating the defensive line for Clemson. Charles Bennett from the middle, crashing down and following the play, beating the block of number 75, Jamie Hightower, who couldn't hold it. And Bennett gets into the backfield and takes down Reggie McNeal.
Well, this is an important 3rd down for this Clemson defense, as Charles mentioned about this being an important drive for them.
They've got him in a long yardage situation here. They've got to get to Reggie McNeal on this play.
A&M 3 for 8 on 3rd down. They bring 5. They run it. They beat the blitz. First down with Lewis near the 40-yard line. How about that call? Pickup of 13.
This is an example of using the speed of Clemson against itself. It's one of the things that Les talked to us about, the offensive coordinator of Texas A&M. He said Clemson is so fast that you have to run your draws, your screens, your counters because they get upfield so quickly. They ran inside. Courtney Lewis making a nice run after good blocks.
Props to Kirk Elder, the redshirt freshman from Klein, Texas. Good block, sealing it off. Lewis dancing, dipping, gets some room. Talk about making lemonade out of lemons. Fudge on the stop. Taylor Schuster was the tight end that had a great block that opened it up for Courtney Lewis. I'll tell you, Courtney Lewis, just a sophomore out of Madison High School, 12 rushing touchdowns last year as a redshirt freshman. That matched Greg Hill's freshman record. He's good size, good speed. Coach Fran compares him to LaDainian Tomlinson. Pretty hefty comparison.
Whoa, ho, ho, ho.
That's pretty
LaDainian
hefty.
Tomlinson. What the record that Ernie talked about, 407 yards or 406 yards in a game, that's LaDainian Tomlinson's record.
Penalty flag is thrown. Oh my, what a hit. Courtney Lewis has the boom lowered on him by Tremaine Billy. Coach Fran covering up the mouth. Don't want to read any lips over here. Holding. They'll bring it back.
Number 51 of the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Remains 2nd down.
9th penalty on Texas A&M.
Look at Chris Yoder's helmet. Think it's painted up a little bit?
My goodness.
Huh? And Chris Yoder is the freshman. The redshirt freshman who got the start in game 2 against Wyoming is the center, and they really like his potential. They say as soon as he doesn't have to think so much on the field, he'll become even more aggressive in the middle, but thus far they're very pleased with him.
He makes the line call, so he's got to be pretty good. Thomas in motion. McNeal fakes the sweep. Fires. Pass. Incomplete. Wasn't sure exactly what he wanted to do with it. Intended for Kerry Franks, a true freshman out of Orange, Texas, West Orange Stark High School. He had 5 receptions last week. Quarterback pressure was put on by C.J. Gaddis, the former quarterback, now playing cornerback.
They disrupted his timing just enough. He had no chance to set his feet and deliver a strike downfield. Right now, Clemson is ahead of the chains, 3rd and 13, and they cannot afford to let A&M get a first down here. They have to get a stop and get off the field.
The option to Lewis. Tripped up. Excellent defensive play by that Clemson defense. C.J. Gaddis, the redshirt freshman.
Could not play this one any better as a corner. It's a stalk block from the wide receiver on the corner. He whipped it, got inside. Excellent tackle in the open field against Courtney Lewis. And exactly what Clemson needed. A 3rd down stop. They should get the ball back in excellent field position for Charlie Whitehurst in the offense.
Loss of 4 on the play. Jacob Young, they've been close on him a lot. They've got 8 on the line of scrimmage again. Clemson going to put the pressure on.
Heads up, heads up.
Safe snap. A&M does a nice job. From the 35-yard line up to the 40-yard line to return. 34 yards on the kick, 6 on the return. Now let's take a look at tonight's All-State Good Hands play. You're in good hands with All-State. And our good hands play is Whitehurst, Japhus Brown, interception.
With an assist from Keelan Jackson, number 33 on the tip. Can you get 2 of them?
That's right. Well, now this Clemson offense that near the end of the first half, they looked like they were clicking. Whitehurst needs to get him going again.
A&M in a nickel package. 5 defensive backs in the game against the passing attack of Clemson.
6 guys in the box to show blitz. They bring 4. 2 linebackers drop back. Whitehurst pass tipped again. Almost intercepted. Byron Jones already with a pick tonight. Talk about a guy with a nose for the football. That's Byron Jones tonight.
And they move him inside to the slot. Byron Jones on this play. Watch as he gets the drop and backs the ball away. Normally a cornerback playing inside against the slot receiver. Excellent drop into coverage for the pass breakup.
2:20 to play. The 12th man is actually these fans. And they're getting loud again. On the ground, Coleman gets up over the 45-yard line. Keelan Jackson on the stop. At the top of the show, Craig Sager and Charles Davis talked about the quarterbacks for their respective teams and how important they were. You can see the numbers as far as passing. 140 to 135. 1 touchdown, a couple of interceptions for Whitehurst. But that doesn't show what Reggie McNeal has done with his legs and setting things up.
Yeah, on that chart, the 2 interceptions is the big difference between the 2 of them tonight.
Penalty flag thrown.
Flag thrown.
And Charlie Whitehurst cannot believe it.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 62 of the offense, 5 yards, down remains 3.
Justin Fry, the culprit, the sophomore out of Summerville, South Carolina. Nickname is Biggie, and you can see why. Only the 4th penalty, though, for Tommy Bowden's Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, and there's no play on words with his name either, right? Biggie,
no.
Fry? Nah, not at all.
Not a bit.
6 defensive backs in the game now for Texas A&M with the dime look.
And they only rush 3. Whitehurst steps up, has some running room, looking at the chains. Crosses the line of scrimmage, but dragged down about 4 yards short by out of Tyler Lee High School.
Tackled by number 10, Justin
That'll bring up a 4th down and 4 with 1.5 minutes to play, and Carl Torbush likes what he sees from his middle linebacker.
And he's signaling punt safe to his defense, meaning don't rush the punter, don't get us into trouble. We just want the football back because you have to be alert for a fake out in your midfield. You're set up in a good position for that if you're the punting team.
Jason's done a nice job. Averaging over 46 yards a kick. Mays back on his 20. Their catch being signaled. That'll be down at the 23-yard line. Let's go to Ernie Johnson and see how Tennessee's doing. EJ.
Yeah, I know your buddy Charles, the former Tennessee DB. Can't wait to see what's going on. Game tied at 14. And then Tennessee's Jonathan Hefney does his best Charles Davis here at the goal line. Ow! Taking a shot from Andre Caldwell of the Gators. That set up a Deshaun Wynn touchdown to give the Gators a 21-14 lead. Sorry, Charles.
Okay, Charles, you got the mic now. You can get back at him, all right?
Well, thing about it, that defensive back actually kept him out of the end zone. That'd been me. He would have walked in.
He would have been in.
He would have been in. All right, Vols, get it going.
Well, the defense of Clemson did their job again, but the offense could not click. On the ground with Lewis. Another pickup of about 6 on the play, up to the 30-yard line. He just keeps getting 5, 6, and 7 yards on first down. 2nd and 4 is a whole lot easier to deal with. Over 25 yards now for Courtney Lewis.
Another observation. I think that the Clemson defense has been on the field for a lot of plays tonight. Yep. And I'm wondering if fatigue becomes a factor for John Lovett's crew, because the offense has not kept the ball that long when they've had it most of the time in the second half.
McNeal hit as he pitches. Lewis upended short of the first down. Penalty flag is thrown. Jamal Fudge did a nice job of fighting off the block by Boone Stutz.
Might be a hold on Boone Stutz blocking on Jamal Fudge.
Well, he doesn't look like he's feeling so hot right about now.
Based on where the flag was thrown from the sideline, hold his neck, number 24. There's a hold against A&M.
Now, there's still plenty of time left. There's 15 seconds left in this quarter, but a whole quarter left. And when you have a high-powered offense like Clemson, you can have the quick strike capability.
Holding by the offense. 10 yards from the end of the run. Down remains the same.
But isn't it time that you see your offense, and we've seen it time and time again, Charles, that the offense just isn't clicking, that the defense has to say to themselves, somebody's got to step up and make a big play.
And I think they're saying that to each other. I think the problem is we look at time of possession. A&M way up on that by almost 10 minutes. The problem they've got is
yeah.
A lot of plays have been run off by Texas A&M, and they've had to defend a lot. And then when the ball turns over to the offense, they're not keeping it, as we see in the time of possession chart. Thus, the fatigue factor sets in for the Clemson defense.
Dabo Sweeney trying to pump up his offensive receivers. 15 seconds left in the third.
And what a reception A&M will get as this clock runs down on the third quarter.
McNeal over the middle, complete. Close to a first down. Irvin Taylor, he's about 2 yards short, his second reception of the night. He's another one of these young receivers who could be a star, just a sophomore out of Mission, Texas. And that's the way the third quarter will come to an end. Reggie McNeal, the Yell leaders, and over 70,000 excited what they've seen so far through 3 quarters of play. Texas A&M heads to the fourth with a 24-6 advantage.
Get ready for a whole new kind of Dodge. Introducing the all-new Magnum SXT with a 3.5-liter high-output engine and all-speed traction control. Open it up and find a tri-fold cargo floor, liftgate, even a powerful Boston acoustic sound system. Dodge Magnum SXT, a whole different ride. Velocity meets versatility. The all-new Magnum starting at $22,495, only at your Dodge dealer.
Hey, Steve. Hey, anything else today? No, thanks. I'll see you tomorrow.
With more ways to use us than ever before, the entire U.S. Postal Service is working for you.
fresh idea from Papa John's. Our new Spinach Alfredo Chicken Tomato Pizza. Creamy spinach Alfredo sauce. Grilled all-white chicken. Fresh sliced Roma tomatoes. 100% wow. Plus, call now and get Papa John's pizza and a movie.
Taste the difference. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The crack of bats, the roar of fans, the sweet smell of pine tar. MLB 2005 is here. There's Sean Green going deep. Looking good, Adam Dunn. MLB 2005 has everything you love about the game and a nifty online mode so you can play folks across the country. Isn't that right, Eric Chavez? We'll take that as a yes. Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation 2, now just $149.
Welcome back to college football on TBS, part of Big PlayStation Saturday as we get set to start the fourth quarter. Texas A&M leading Clemson at the ACC 24-6, along with Charles Davis and Craig Sager, Ron Thulin, and the Core welcoming you back. Texas A&M facing a 3rd down and 1 as we start the fourth. McNeal's pass, that was dangerous, almost picked off. Intended for Boone Stutz, and McNeal took a seat after he threw it.
Sergio Gilliam had a chance to make a huge play. Another missed opportunity. I know I sound like a broken record harping on it because he made a play, right? He broke up the pass. That's good. But if he catches it, which is what they need, a big play happens, he has a chance for 6, maybe get some momentum turned around for them. That's exactly what John Lovett will tell him when he watches film on Sunday.
Justin Miller, who has 3 kicks returned for touchdowns, a kickoff return and a couple of punts, standing back. Jacob Young back at his 18-yard line. Good snap. And backs off. Miller at the 40-yard line and a fair catch it. Fans, it's time to vote for your T-Mobile Player of the Game. Now to vote, all you have to do is pick up your phone. Then you text A, Lewis, B, McNeal, C, Mays, or D, Whitehurst. Send to TBS 827, and the results will be shown a little bit later. I'd have to say right now, Courtney Lewis. Got a text message, C. Lewis there, number A, I think.
It's not bad, but Reggie McNeal's controlled everything. Their last touchdown drive, he accounted for 88 of the 99 yards it took to cover the drive for the touchdown, passing and running.
Coleman joins Whitehurst. Pressure. Pass complete to Grant again. He has been the go-to receiver, and there's a penalty flag. Late hit by Dwayne Coleman, it looked like. He's going, I never saw the receiver. Hang on.
I think you're right. Teams teach their players to block aggressively downfield. I think Dwayne Coleman came in just a little bit late. Remember, he's been out with a broken foot since the first day of fall camp. So him getting his timing back is going to be difficult.
Well, I think they're calling it a hold.
This is Dwayne Coleman's first contact since this fall.
Right.
Okay, so with him trying to get back into the flow, not as easily done as people think.
Well, he is not happy.
He's trying to make a play. He's trying to help his team out.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 2 of the offense, 15 yards, 2nd down.
Gain of 9, negative, and a 15-yard penalty for Coleman.
Yeah, I don't know whether the coach is mad at him or not.
Yeah,
they got it correct. First they said number 2. They got it correct. It's number 3. That's what coaches were worried about with this new rule. Well, what if you get the wrong guy?
That's right.
Well, you know.
They're human.
They're human. They're going to try and get it right. But Dwayne Coleman was trying to help his team.
Browning and Merriweather now in the backfield. 2nd down in the bundle. Whitehurst pass. Tip. Incomplete. Archie McDaniel from that middle linebacker spot out of Bay City, Texas, got a hand on it.
One thing we've seen tonight, the linebackers for A&M, excellent in their pass drops and taking away throwing lanes from Charlie Whitehurst.
Boy, the second half numbers.
Oh, my.
That. Almost 3 times as much offense for A&M and Clemson in this second stanza. On 3rd down and 16, Whitehurst steps up. being chased. Not much running room. And he is going to be dropped at about the original line of scrimmage. Eric Mays coming up from that cornerback spot. And another defensive stop by this Aggie defense. You know, you touched on it about the linebackers dropping back. I think part of that has to do with the communication of this defense. It was so bad during the Utah game, but you've seen it progress, the communication on defense, and now you're seeing the results of all of that. Mason again is going to have to kick it away. Nice boot again. At the 20-yard line, very dangerous. 40-yard kick, and Eric Mays had to pull a Willie Mays on that. 14-15 to play. Reveille 7. The five-star general likes what she sees.
There's only one name that boasts the brute strength of 600 foot-pounds of class-dominating torque. One brand, the fastest production pickup on Earth with a 500 horsepower engine. One truck with the legendary Hemi that out-hauls, out-tows, and outperforms the competition. Dodge Ram, the one truck with the speed, strength, and power to put all the other trucks in their place. Get the best selection of 04 Ram 1500 quad cabs with 0% APR for total savings of up to $8,100.
My name is Jess Gessner. I lost 115 pounds with Bowflex. I was 25 years old. I was 310 pounds. I had a 44-inch waist. Looking back at how big I was then, it's hard to believe that I look good as I feel I look now.
If you want great results like Jess, then call for a free video or DVD from Bowflex. And now, through this special offer, you can own the new Bowflex Extreme with no money down and payments of just $19 a month.
It's empowering. You feel great. You just, like, I can conquer the world because this machine just makes you feel that good and makes you that strong.
The Bowflex Extreme is backed by a 7-year warranty and comes with a 6-week 100% satisfaction guarantee.
I know other guys who ate sandwiches and lost a lot of weight, but I don't see them on TV with their shirt off.
Call us now or visit us online at extremebowflex.com for your free DVD or video. Find out how to get your Bowflex Extreme for just $19 a month. Call now.
The Rose Bowl, Notre Dame, Clemson, Howard's Rock, Michigan, the Naval Academy, the Army-Navy game. How about Florida State, Colorado Buffalo, the Oklahoma Schooner, and of course, Aggieland, home of the 12th man, and UGA, Devo. There are a lot of great traditions in college football, none better than what goes on right here at A&M. Jason Carter with the football. You know, we started talking about the great traditions, and we were allowed to pick our traditions, and there were so many. And of course, I got to admit, I was doing this driving a car. Army-Navy was my #1 tradition. OU Texas game, I think, is great. Notre Dame, the Washington Armada. There's fun doing a game there. Those are my 5. We'll give you Segs and Charles Davis is right after this.
Those are good. Nice move getting the A&M 12th man in here since you're here tonight. That's smooth.
You like that?
I like that. I can't believe it wasn't #1 for you.
Total homer.
I'm surprised you put it at 2.
The running game. Courtney Lewis. Now Charles Davis has this, and you can explain them.
And let's face it, there's no better tradition than running through the tee at Tennessee. All right? And Howard's Rock at Clemson. You know, hey, we got Clemson here tonight. Harvard-Yale game, the game, of course. Doubting the eye at Ohio State love when they do that. And, of course, Traveler, fight on at USC, presently the #1 team in the nation, who we will see next week here on Big PlayStation Saturday.
#1, your alma mater. #2, Clemson, who's playing tonight.
Well, you know,
don't talk about me.
Hey, they did whack my Vols in the Peach Bowl last year. Got to give them some props.
There you go. Of course, Ernie Johnson would have UGA #1.
Yes, he would, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would. Lewis breaks through. Crosses the 45 up to the 46-yard line. Craig Sager, you've got to tell us your top 5.
Well, the last couple of days I've been bonding with the First Lady of Aggieland, Reveille, and I told her I was Willie the Wildcat, but she said, hey, Homo sapiens and plastic heads don't count as mascots. She has only live animals, so she helped me put together our list. We begin with Mike, the LSU Tiger. You know, some schools, tailgating starts a couple hours before the game. At LSU, it's a couple of days. So Mike gets the #1 pick, followed by Ralphie, the 1,300-pound buffalo. And then Spirit, the beautiful husky or Alaskan Malamute up at Washington. Bevo, her rival down in Texas. And it all began with Bill the Goat and River the Mule. You know, Army Navy, they've been playing since the 1890s, and the Goat and the Mule have been there ever since.
Nice run there for Texas A&M. Reggie McNeal continuing to flash his great ability. But did you notice a theme with Sags?
Yeah.
He's into animal acts.
He is, definitely.
I mean, and he likes the live ones.
He doesn't want us to follow the animal act.
Never, ever follow an animal act.
Well, that just proves that we're all...
And there's the Tiger for Clemson.
Yeah, we...
Got to be hot.
Oh.
Got to be hot.
He'll be skinny. How about Reggie McNeal? He's over 100 yards rushing the football. 5, Neal at 109. McNeal, 109 plus some. Still on his feet. Dropped hard on the play by Tremaine Billing. What does this do for this A&M offense? Because now we've talked about their wide receivers. They have 6 excellent wide receivers. Now you throw in a couple of 100 yards rusher. You see what Reggie McNeal's done tonight. This opens it all up for him.
And you know what else happens too? The confidence factor increases for the whole offense. They know they've got guys who can make plays, led by their quarterback, Reggie McNeal. Thus, you know what happens? They block harder up front. They hold their blocks longer. The fullback gets out and leads. The wide receivers make catches maybe they don't normally make because everyone's confident in the ability of their leader, their quarterback.
A couple of tight ends. Lewis inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Jamal Fudge on the stop. Of course, Texas A&M opens up conference play in a couple of weeks right on this field against Kansas State. I'm sure Coach Snyder's watching tonight coming off his victory, and he knows he's going to have his hands full down here, not only with the heat, but also with an A&M offense that's become quite diversified.
And they have done such a great job tonight with their play calling, their formations, their tempo, and they've really worn down the Clemson defense, which is a good defense, as one of the top-rated secondaries in the country. But tonight, they've totally neutralized them with their play selection.
150 yards for Courtney Lewis running the football. Looking for a block. How about McNeal getting out there and blocking? Let's take a look at that Clemson or the Texas A&M schedule. Because they've got an off week, it'll be much deserved. You can see next week they're off, and then Kansas State October 2nd.
That's the one you talked about right there. That's a huge ball game because Kansas State has already lost a game to Fresno State, and they want to get their standing back. But coming to Aggie land, as you mentioned, not very easy. But the way they're playing right now, the hopes for going back to a bowl for the first time since 2001, you can feel it starting to rise here in College Station.
Well, those last 3 games, though, Oklahoma Tech and Texas. And Oklahoma, I'm sure they want a little revenge after 77-0 last year. McNeal, quick looking pass down to the 25-yard line. It is complete. There's Thomas on the reception, the senior out of Washington High School in Houston. Runs a 4.33, and Billings coming out, tapping the helmet. He's played a pretty good football game, though. That young man's been in a lot of tackles tonight.
Tommy Bowden said he had to get him on the field. He's made a lot of plays in a limited amount of snaps. Let's see what he can do with extended playing time.
3rd down and 6. 2 wide receivers to the left. McNeal goes to the right. Dangerous pass to the 20, and it's caught. Tydrick Riley, the junior out of Crockett, Texas, on the reception. Oh, what a pass, though, by Reggie McNeal. Set up a 4th down and 1.
And I think if you're Texas A&M right now, momentum's going your way. The defense is playing like go for it here rather than kick a field goal and risk it being blocked. I just go ahead and put it in the hands of my offense because it's also a confidence builder. You're showing that you have confidence in them if you're Coach Fran. Let's go out and get it right now, fellas. And that can pay dividends for him down the road, not just tonight.
Boone Stutz, Taylor Schuster in at tight end for Texas A&M. I love it calling the defensive signals, and they're going to have to call a timeout. 3 to snap it. Decided not to do it.
Had trouble with the personnel grouping.
We've got just inside of 9 minutes to play in the ball game. Dennis Franchione looking for the 2nd win of the year. They lead by 18.
This is it, team. The day we've all been waiting for. Today we have the unique opportunity to show the whole country how good we really are. Yeah! So I want you to go out there and give it everything you've got, 110%. But remember, win or lose, I want you to represent your university with class. You give respect and you get respect. So go out there and make us proud. Yeah!
Brought to you in the interest of better sportsmanship by the Big 12 Conference.
I'll get the seats, you get the stroller.
Introducing the only minivan with 2 rows of fold-in floor seats. The all-new 2005 Grand Caravan with exclusive stow-and-go seating and storage.
Honey, you coming?
Now, qualified returning Daimler Chrysler owners can get $3,500 in combined cash allowances on Dodge Caravan.
Are you searching for the great fajita? Chili's sizzling steak and portobello mushroom fajitas. Tender, juicy grilled steak topped with grilled marinated portobello mushrooms and then served with warm flour tortillas and a chimichurri sauce you can drizzle on for even more flavor. Chili's steak and portobello mushroom fajitas. Want more flavor in your life?
Welcome to Chili's.
College football on TBS brought to you by Yamaha, makers of fine motorcycles and ATVs. Nobody's more in tune with motorsports than Yamaha. PlayStation 2, live in your world, play in ours. The U.S. Postal Service with more new ways to use us than ever before. The U.S. Postal Service is working for you. And Allstate, are you in good hands? Back to action. Texas A&M decided to kick the field goal. They spotted at the 26-yard line. It'll be a 36-yarder for Todd Pegram. He already has one tonight within this distance. Schrader is the holder. Snap. Kick is up and away. Right down the middle. Pegram now 3 for 3 on the air, and the Aggies add to the lead. Well, our next telecast will come your way next Saturday night at 7 o'clock Eastern as the Stanford Cardinal host the USC Trojans. How about Stanford? 2-0 on the year. Trent Edwards, 48% last year. Completion percentage, 54%. And, of course, Heisman Trophy candidate Matt Leinart. It's going to be a dandy, and it's a big, big game for Stanford. They started out 2-0 last year, sort of faltered. I think Buddy Stevens knows that's a must-win for them, or at least play well against USC.
Yeah, I think play well is more the stance. I don't think must-win at Stanford. I know the administration there, and it's only his 3rd season there, so I'd be surprised if it was a must-win. And number 1 USC, they're playing BYU tonight, the team that Stanford beat last week.
Thumped them.
Remember, Stanford last year on offense only averaged about 16 points per ball game.
Yeah.
The first 2 games, they were in the high 40s against San Jose State. I believe they scored 37 last week against BYU. Right. That's the type of offense Stanford people are accustomed to seeing. That's Pac-10 offense, and I think we're going to see plenty of it next week against the number 1 team in the nation, the USC Trojans.
Lance Newman set to kick it away. Nope, Todd Pegram is going to kick. Newman's been doing a lot of the kickoff chores. Now it's Pegram. From the 9-yard line, Miller bowls his way over the 30. Now let's take a look at our Pioneer play of the game for tonight. We've had a lot of good ones, but this is the one we've chosen.
Hard to pick one, but this was a tremendous run by Courtney Lewis, set up by an offensive line that did their jobs to perfection, creating a big hole for him to run through.
How about 149 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry. His career record, 171 yards last year versus Oklahoma State, and I think the tank is closing in on empty. The yellow light is out for Courtney Lewis.
Give that man a cold towel.
There you go. He's going to be sitting in the hot tub in about an hour. Or I should say maybe the ice tub. Clemson's got to get something going. Up to midfield. Whitehurst pass is complete to Kelvin Grant. Craig Sager, what do you have for us?
Well, Ron, earlier we talked about the long bus ride for the Clemson team to get here, an hour and 15 minutes. We also talked about the temperature and the heat. Right now, there's no enthusiasm whatsoever in the sidelines. The coaches have been trying to talk to the players, trying to get them pumped up, but there's no reaction. I don't know if they're tired, worn out, or there's nothing left in the tank.
Great observation, Craig.
I think it's a combination of all three, as well as the score. That takes your enthusiasm when you look at the scoreboard, and they've worn you down all evening.
High expectations coming into this year. Whitehurst is going to be dropped as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Johnny Jolly, the junior out of Houston Forest Brook High School. Well, this Texas A&M defense in the second half has been suffocating at times.
Getting pressure on Charlie Whitehurst. Jonte Buell covering in the secondary from the backside. Harrington with the sack. They've been all over the field, closed down the passing lanes, run down the runners. A great night for the Texas A&M defense.
2nd and 9. A&M brings 5. Whitehurst steps up in the pocket. First down. Inside the 35 to Kelvin Grant again. 7 receptions for Grant. That is what he had in the first 2 games combined.
That's the good news for him, Ron. The bad news is Chancey Stuckey has 1 catch for the evening.
That's right.
And he's a guy that's a big play guy, and they have to have involved in their offense. Him catching 1 or 2 balls a night is not going to get it done for Clemson.
He had such a great game against Wake and hasn't done anything since. Whitehurst chased from behind, throws, passes, tipped again. Brandon Leone was the one who put the quarterback pressure on. There were a lot of guys around the football, including Byron Jones and Eric Mays. And Tommy Bowden looking for something offensively to get going.
2nd and 10, checking the play sheet, getting the signals in. Tough part now is the receivers having to hurry up and staying on the field. They're going to be tired too.
Harris Curry is looking a little winded, taking some deep breaths on that line. Here comes the pressure again. Whitehurst throws inside the 30 to the 25. Stuckey takes a hit. Oh my goodness, Justin Warren. The phone is ringing. I'm not sure Mr. Stuckey knows where to pick it up and answer it.
And what a great job, because no matter how great a defense you play, you will miss tackles. Byron Jones overrunning the play. But when you miss them, you want to spill the play back inside. What the pros call spill to the will linebacker. In this case, it was the Mike linebacker, Justin Warren, getting the play sent to him and him delivering the big blow.
My goodness. Justin Warren, 6 total tackles, a tackle for a loss. His motor's constantly running. Up to the 22-yard line. Merriweather, the ball carrier. Just can't say enough about number 10 for Texas A&M, Justin Warren. First true freshman to start at linebacker at A&M history in a season opener. Had so much speed. Dedicated his football career to his brother, who passed away in '97. Just a good young man. He's going to be a fine football player for a couple of years here at Texas A&M.
Super intelligent, took over the middle linebacker last game. As Coach Carl Torbush told us, no bus. Got all the signals called properly.
Whitehurst, a little touch pass to Pater. No, Grant can't come down with it. Good battle going on, though, in the end zone. Grant was going step for step with Eric Mays.
Grant's the guy they want to go to in the end zone if it's a jump ball type situation. Big receiver, big body, but this case it wasn't a jump ball. It was just more of a fade route, and he had to lay out for it at the end of the play. A little hand fighting with Mays, no penalty, incomplete pass.
2nd and 10, inside of 6 minutes to play. Whitehurst, pass, tip, intercepted. Eric Mays with the pick. Curry had it hit off his hands, and Mays comes down with it.
Two deep zone. They sent Justin Warren down the middle to take away the crossers. Charlie Whitehurst checked back and checked down to a different receiver. And look at it. Aries Curry, you mentioned he was tired just a couple of plays ago, Ron. And the fatigue may have had something to do with that, him not being able to come down with the ball. Once again, tip drill. Chris Thurman, cornerbacks coach. Melvin Smith, safeties coach for Texas A&M. They'll be doing a lot of tip drills from here on out because obviously it works. Eric Mays, that's 2 weeks in a row, folks. 10 tackles in a ball game. He had 10 against Wyoming also. He has an interception tonight.
3 interceptions for Charlie Whitehurst tonight. And a couple of them have been on tips. Keith Joseph, left side. And I think Courtney Lewis, the tank may be empty. We may not see him with 5:39 to play. But Keith Joseph did a nice job last week and last year for this team.
And remember that Courtney Lewis is coming back off of an injury, so it probably doesn't hurt for them to rest him a little bit.
Right.
As you mentioned, Keith Joseph last week played very well, 82 yards against Wyoming.
Well, he's coming back in. He goes, Coach, I got 148. I only need 23 more. 149. Well, Lewis and Joseph in the backfield. And A&M has the luxury of taking their time.
And the offensive line should love this part of the ball game. They should get the fire out and really smack someone in the run game.
From the eye, Lewis sees the hole, breaks through up to the 25-yard line. Caught by a shoestring, Justin Miller.
Ho, ho, ho. He doesn't make that tackle.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've got a sprint on our hands. Remember I said the offensive line's going to enjoy this? Look at how they've knocked the people back. Every guy's got someone. If Justin Miller does not make that tackle, there's a lot of green grass ahead for Courtney Lewis.
157 yards now for Lewis, 117 rushing for Reggie McNeal.
Look at those big fellas, Ron. Are they ready to go? They're loving this. Play clock down inside 5 seconds.
From the eye, Lewis finds a little seam, gets up to about the 28-yard line. Pick up about 3 or 4 on the play. Charles Bennett on the stop. Disappointing night, though, for Charlie Whitehurst. Came in with high expectations, beat Wake Forest in double overtime, lost the heartbreaker last week to Georgia Tech, said it was a devastating loss. And now tonight, where does this team go, Charles?
Well, this team now has to regroup and say the ACC is our ultimate goal anyway. The tough part is they have to take on a Florida State team that they beat last year at Clemson. They go on the road now to take on Tommy Bowden's dad's team, one of the top teams in the country, and you know they're still upset over losing to Miami in their season opener.
McNeal. First down to the 40, and he's held up again right before he went out of bounds. Charles, go down and tell him not to do that.
Oh, I'll guarantee you, film session, Les Koenig and his crew, oh, they're going to have a lot to say to him, because this is how you get hurt, all right? Don't get cute on the field now, Reggie, all right? That's not the time to all of a sudden preen a little bit. Go ahead and get over the sideline, get out of bounds. A&M season hangs in your hands.
I think a telling stat. Sam Polis, our stat guy, does a great job. How about Justin Miller with 11 tackles? Travis Pugh, 10. Jamal Fudge, 9. 3 guys in the secondary, the leading tacklers for Clemson. That tells you something.
If they were playing a pure option against Wake Forest, that's different. Tonight, the big fellas up front aren't getting as many plays done.
Lewis up to the 45-yard line. Pugh with his 11th tackle of the night. Rivals.com is your football recruiting source. Who will be the stars of tomorrow? All you have to do is check out Rivals.com and find out today. People are already hitting the internet. Checking out Rivals. Just about a month into the high school season. 3:06 to play. Second down and 5, we'll call it. Lewis now up to 165 yards. 6 off his career high. McNeal in no hurry.
I think Keith Joseph gets a chance here. Number 4, lined up in the single back.
Langston Strader up wide. Joseph averaged about 3 yards a carry in his career. Trey Tate wraps him up, the junior out of Gaffney, South Carolina. And it's 2:37 to play in the ballgame. 0-0 at halftime. Texas A&M led intermission. Put on a couple of scores here in the second half. Just a reminder, our Dodge post-game report coming up straight ahead. We catch up all on today's action. Mark Fine reports from Auburn. That was a pretty good game. Charles Davis reports on number 1, USC. And, of course, he'll have all the scores and highlights, and we'll break down this game and look ahead to next week. All coming up with Ernie Johnson on our post-game report.
We'll see the Trojans next week.
Looking forward to that. That'll be another first down. Leroy Hill coming up to make the stop. Keith Joseph. Haven't called Leroy Hill's number a whole lot tonight, Charles.
It's been difficult. They kept them spread out, and the offensive line has been able to take care of business up front against the defensive line of Clemson. That means the fullback has been able to get to Leroy Hill and block him more effectively than most teams are able to, allowing Courtney Lewis the gaps to run. Same thing with Reggie McNeal. Any lead back has a better chance of getting to Leroy Hill if the up front guys have been taken care of, and that's happened most of the evening for Texas A&M.
Final 135. And this one is in the books. A&M now takes the week off. Look forward to Kansas State. Joseph, left side, with 124. Anthony Waters coming up to make the stop. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Home Depot. A&M's done a good job with that. Don't want to jinx them, but Texas A&M, Charles, still has no turnovers for the year.
That's phenomenal and exactly what they want. Well, right, you look at the first down picture. Texas A&M 27-18 over Clemson. But you know who's got the toughest job during this off week, Ron? It's that guy right there, Coach Fran.
That's right.
Because he will now have to temper expectations that were so low after the blowout against Utah. Now people's hopes are rising again, and now they're thinking, hey, we can win a lot of games here. And he's got to still remind them, we've got a young team that has a lot of growth left before we can be considered one of the better teams in the Big 12.
Final 30 seconds. Will this be a benchmark game for Texas A&M? Coach Fran says he'll tell you at the end of the year, but I guarantee there's been a large weight lifted off that man's shoulder right now. They're not going to snap another play. Texas A&M goes to 2-1 on the year. A very impressive defensive performance and offensive performance. And for Coach Tommy Bowden, it's going to be a long week.
For your support of fighting Texas Aggie football. We'll see you in 2 weeks when the Aggies
a lot of retooling for them to do, and they don't have much time because they have FSU, Florida State, in Tallahassee. And you remember what happened last year against the Noles. A big win for Clemson.
Well, Tommy Bowden is a class individual, and he will handle it just like his father and his brothers do, with a great deal of integrity and class, and we wish Coach Bowden the best in the ACC. He said that this was a big battle between the ACC and the Big 12. Big 12 much maligned over the last couple of weeks. What this does remains to be seen for the integrity of the conference, because those of us that are around it a lot know that at the end of the year they will still be there. And what's happened in the last couple of weeks won't be a big deal. One of the traditions, the coach gets out there with the team and the students and does the whole tradition here at Texas A&M.
They play the Aggie War Hymn, one of the great songs in college football.
Well, the faithful here at Kyle Field and College Station have loved what they've seen tonight. This is what they've been hoping for the last couple of years. 2 straight non-winning seasons. I just want to hear Coach Fran sing.
I'll tell you what, they will enjoy this one. We mentioned they have an open week coming. Great time for them.
Well, Texas A&M, a very impressive win tonight. They defeat Clemson. The final score 27-6. Our next telecast will be next Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern as the Stanford Cardinal host the USC Trojans. For Charles Davis, Craig Sager, and the rest of the crew, I'm Ron Thulin saying good night from College Station. Now it's time for the Dodge postgame show with Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you, Ron. This is the Dodge postgame report, where tonight we'll preview next week.